Thanks for joining me. My name's Kevin. I'm reading my dad's letters that he wrote to himself, really, in 1999, marking the end of the millennium. My dad was Jimmy Hodge, and I'm trying to read a letter every day on his behalf to commemorate that effort. So we're into February now. It's February the 2nd. He was saying, he mentioned a few days ago about older kids, sixth formers, being given money to stay on at school, and he was just following that up apparently by saying now the government of the day, the Labour government, they were going to do whatever it takes to get people back into work if you've been out of work for a year. So someone who wanted to be a deep sea diver was being having paid transport and training to be a deep sea diver. So if you're that very person still doing it or retired happily, let us know. He was musing on the fact that perhaps he'd quite like to have been an airline pilot, and perhaps as a retiree they might have got him back in the saddle and might be sort of getting him off to flight school. But I think he was having a few doubts about that. He was someone who, worked quite late. I'm still working, I must say, 68. Helped a little bit in part by the fact that I'd spoken to someone in occupational health who said that retirees who don't take on work and who just tend to retire only last about 8 years. Whereas if you actually have a job, the research seems to think you last a bit longer. So I'm carrying on, if that's all right, if you don't mind. Sadly, he ended on a couple of notes, really. One was that there was quite a bad machete attack in a Chinese takeaway up north, I think it was, and 2 kids and an adult was severely hurt in a Chinese takeaway, and he was just musing on the sad state of affairs, but sadly did not realise that some 26 years later, with our recent sort of attack in Southport, those sorts of random attacks, seemingly unprovoked, nasty and dished out to innocents, I'm afraid still in 2025 is still a very sad part of our society. Thankfully, still a very small number of incidents, but it's actually quite prevalent, really. But our news channels, I think, now make it a little bit word and amplify it, but it's still, thankfully, mercifully rare. His PS today finished off with the not so sure how true it is, reported that sex twice a week can help you ward off colds and flu, and he said he hasn't had a cold for a year. Good old Jimmy. Anyway, thanks for listening. Take care. Bye. There you go. Bye.